For a long time, many economists, politicians, and even the current ruling party, BJP, have claimed that if Jawaharlal Nehru had not been the Prime Minister of India, the country would have been in a much better condition today.
आजादी के 70 साल के बाद एक दिन ऐसा नहीं जाता है कि आपके उस पाप की सजा 125 करोड़ हिंदुस्तानी न भुगत। पंडित नेहरू को बिठा दिया गया। अगर देश के पहले प्रधानमंत्री सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल होते तो मेरा कश्मीर का ये हिस्सा आज पाकिस्तान के पास न होता।
However, on the contrary, it is also the fact when Nehru bid farewell to the world in 1964, economics at that time printed an article on the front page of the New York Times, paying tribute to him, addressing him as the maker of modern India. Congress asserts that by discriminating such views about Jawaharlal Nehru, a wrong narrative has been presented regarding his legacy, with the aim of erasing his valuable contribution to the history of India for political gains. Let's investigate this matter to determine whether Jawaharlal Nehru was truly the worst PM of India or in fact the nation builder of new India. We will dive into the some pages of Jawaharlal Nehru and his legacy today. At the end of 1940, with the conclusion of Second World War, it became evident that the British rule in India would sooner or later come to an end. Regardless of how much the British tried to delay, India would eventually achieve its independence. The Indian National Congress' significant victory in 1946 election indicated that whoever will be the president of Congress will likely to lead India. Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad was chosen the president of Congress party previously. In this situation, Azad desired to be the Congress leader once again in 1946 so that he could become the de facto leader of independent India in the future. This aspiration is hinted in his book India Wins Freedom. However, on April 20th, 1946, Mahatma Gandhi expressed his preference for Jawaharlal Nehru as the first Prime Minister of India. Mohandas Gandhi believed that by doing so, the Congress and its leadership would unanimously choose Nehru as their future leader. Despite Mohandas Gandhi's choice, when it come to electing the future leader of Congress and the country, 12 out of 15 Pradesh Committee nominated Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, while the remaining 3 did not participate in the voting. No committee has voted in favor of Jawaharlal Nehru because the belief with the formation of Pakistan and the departure of British government, only Sardar Patel had the ability to hold the divided and newly emerging India together. When Mohandas Gandhi conveyed this to Nehru, he firmly declined the offer of being second in command in the future Indian government. Subsequently, Mohandas Gandhi requested Patel to step aside for Jawaharlal Nehru in the country and Congress. When later Gandhi was questioned about his decision, he stated that Nehru has a distinct international identity which will be beneficial for India's international affairs. Meanwhile, Sardar Patel would stay in India and work to keep the government united. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, India's first president, also mentioned this incident in his book, where he highlights similar situation in 1929 and 37 with respect to Congress president election, during which Patel had to give up the Congress president post in favor of Nehru due to Mohandas Gandhi intervention. One of Nehru's sympathetic biographer, Michael Brecher, also write about this entire incident and Nehru's withdrawal of his nomination. If Mohandas Gandhi had not intervened, Patel would have become the first Prime Minister of India in 1946-47. The Sardar was robbed of the prize and it ranked deeply. In such a situation, we can only say Nehru got the post of PM in India only with the recommendation of Mohandas Gandhi. But this is only one side of the story. The real concern is whether he was truly a rightful claimant of the post. Lastly, when Nehru finally assumed the post of India's Prime Minister in 1947, a big problem awaited him: the challenge of comprising all the 500 princely states into India as a whole. Sardar Patel handled this task flawless and integrated all the states into the Union of India. Today we are facing complex issue in Kashmir because of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and the Pakistan army backed tribal terrorists captured areas in Kashmir. Most of the expert and Sardar Patel opinion was to recapture the area demarcated on 15th August 1947 with the help of Indian army and then raise the issue against the Pakistan in UN. But Nehru did the opposite and took the matter directly to UN, which ordered a ceasefire and marked the LOC or the accord allowing Pakistan to illegally capture parts of Kashmir. A similar blunder was about to be occurred in Hyderabad as well. The Nizam of Hyderabad was a pro-Pakistan supporter and had a personal army called Razakars. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel proposed to free Hyderabad from the Nizam, but Nehru opposed it and wanted to take the matter into the UN again. Nehru did this for India's image as a secular country in front of the world, ignoring the ground reality and the facts. Nevertheless, Sardar Patel went against Nehru, and later the Nizam had to surrender and merge into India. You must have heard about the Gwadar port. It is the same Gwadar port of Pakistan that is an important part of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor project. But do you know that in 1947, Gwadar port used to be under the control of Sultan of Oman, who wanted to give it to India after the India-Pakistan partition. However, Nehru rejected the offer because at that time, Gwadar was nothing more than a small fishing port. Unfortunately, Nehru, who was serving as the Prime Minister and the Minister of External Affairs of India at that time, failed to understand the importance of Gwadar and strategic significance against Pakistan. As a result, in 1948, Oman sold the port to Pakistan. Some scholars and news reported claim that in August 1950, the USA was offering India a permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council in place of China. However, no official offer of this kind was presented by the US. But amidst unofficial discussion and behind the scene talks, mention of this possible offer can be found in the letter written by Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, who was representing India in the UN at that time, to her brother Prime Minister Nehru. However, Nehru categorically declined this offer. At that time, Nehru wanted to maintain a good relation with China and preferred a non-aligned approach on a global level with the UN. At that time, if India would have accepted USA offer, it would have signaled India's alignment against socialism and the Soviet Union and a partnership with capitalism and the USA, which Nehru was against. He didn't want India to become a pawn between the Soviet Union and the US. If at that time, India had also accepted the membership in place of China and worked strategically, today India would have become a permanent member of the United Nations on a global level. Additionally, China would not have blocking India's resolution in the UN. According to former Foreign Secretary Maharaja Krishna Rasgotra, in mid-1950s, the USA had a news that China was developing nuclear weapons and had offered help to India in developing its own nuclear weapons to maintain a balance of power. Nehru declined this offer due to his idealistic mindset. After the establishment of People's Republic of China in 1949, India tried to maintain a good relation with China. After the Treaty of Panchashil in 1954, Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai slogans were common. However, China later captured Tibet and India gave refuge to Dalai Lama. China had then raised border issues in Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh, leading to a war against India. Nehru and India were not prepared for such conflicts, which tore apart the non-aligned movement and the policy of treating China as a friendly state. This resulted in China entering India. The brave Indian army soldiers gave their all to protect the sovereignty of our country. The reason for this failure was Nehru and his friend, then Defense Minister V.K. Menon, who did not pay attention to improving India's defense. From 1960, Indian army officers and strategic experts kept warning the government about China's military buildup near the border. The result was India lost to China in 1962 war. In 1953, Nehru donated 22,000 square kilometers of Khabwa Valley to Myanmar without the approval of the parliament, without consulting the local leaders of Manipur, as if it was his personal property. According to the Treaty of Yandabu in 1826, the area was leased to Myanmar and it had to pay a fixed amount to Manipur regularly. After considering all these scenarios, one may think Jawaharlal Nehru was a nightmare for India. The answer would be no. No leader can be 100% perfect. The state which British left India in 1947 had problems associated with the economy, food, education, and social issues. Implementing a socialistic model at that time, which was government-centric, was the best option available. He didn't want India to go for war just after gaining freedom. Considering the country's other major issue, that's why he took the Kashmir matter to the UN. Newly independent India didn't have the context or background, so they had to make decisions, some of which may be right, some of which may be wrong. Nehru established the Election Commission of India in 1950 for election. He also initiated the construction of prestigious education institutes like the IITs in 1950, which became a powerhouse of innovation and the startup in modern India and a pool of talent. The National Defence Academy was established for defence aspirants in 1955, AIIMS for medical and doctor aspirants in 1956, and IIMs in 1961. In the field of science and technology, DRDO and ISRO precursor and the Atomic Energy Commission were established by Jawaharlal Nehru. From the first 5-year plan, Nehru pushed to boost the economy, achieve food sufficiency and industrialization within the help of USA and USSR. Nehru established dams, PSUs, including Bhakra Nangal Dam, BHEL, LIC, ONGC, IOCL. This led to the foundation of democratic setup, secular fabric, and a strong economy and education institution, all of which began during Nehru's prime ministership. Whether he was a good leader or a nightmare, it is for not me to decide. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon in the next video.